I'm Frank Seppi with NPCNewsOnline.com. I'm here at Meet the Olympians with 212 Showdown competitor Tricky Jackson and MHP athlete, right? How long have you been with MHP?
Wow, man. It's been a long time, man. I almost can't remember. About 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, I think between me and Victor, I know we've been with them the longest. Wow. Yeah.
What's your go-to product for MHP?
You know what? I've been using a lot of the anadrox here lately, especially for contest prep, because you start depleting those carbs. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get your pump. Anadrox really helps you get a really good pump in the gym, man. It keeps you supercharged throughout your workout. So anadrox right now is my product of choice with them.
Now, you're known, you're always in shape, man. You're always get yourself dialed in. And I was at the press conference, and you made a good point. You said people like Phil and, you know, who not so big could beat all these guys, and you came in at, what, 197? 198, right? And these guys are 212. What do you think is going to, you know, push you in that top spot?
Well, one of the things about me, I have a small bone structure. So the illusion of how big I am on stage kind of jumps out at you, kind of like a Flex Wheeler used to be. I mean, I remember Flex Wheeler winning the Arnold Classic one year about 220, like he's about 250. That's the same way I am. Same weight like David Henry, for example. David Henry's about 5 pounds bigger than me.
Right.
But he's the same type of guy. He looks much bigger on stage because he has a small bone structure. I'm in that same boat. You know, Flex is the champion, but Flex has a little bit bigger bone structure, and so does Jose. So their muscle bellies don't pop and jump out of it quite as much when they hit their poses. So, and obviously posing is a strength for me, not just from the standpoint of posing routine, but the presentation. I mean, I study posing. I'm also a judge, and so I take I take a lot of time trying to figure out the best places to position my arms and my legs so that everything jumps out at you. I had a good friend of mine that told me one time, he goes, the person that wins is the person that's got the most. So I try to position myself so a lot of shit's going on.
That's what veterans do. You talk about people like Lee Labrada, too, back in the day. You know, Rich Gasparity, Dragon Slayer, people like that. Who do you want to beat the most? Do you have that one person gets under your skin? You want to beat him? Or are you beyond that now?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. I've never been asked that. You know, the reality of it is, and one of the guys said it on stage, it might have been Guy, we're a pretty close-knit group of guys. I mean, I'm friends with all the guys in the 212.
Yeah.
So there's no one in particular person that I necessarily want to beat. I want to whoop all their ass. Man, I still love them.
What do you think, what's the worst thing someone said about you that really, you know, motivated you to really dial it in for a show?
You know, one of the things that I hear obviously a lot of is, like I said today in the press conference, not being big enough.
Right.
And again, you know, that just makes no sense to me. If I'm not big enough, there's no reason for me to even be here. But, you know, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. I've been competing in the sport for 26 years. I've won 10 national championships as an NPC athlete. I've won 4 pro shows in the IFBB since the inception of 202-212. This is the 6th time I've been to the Olympia. I've been to Olympia more than anybody else that was on the press conference today. I'm the only person that's been here every year. And still sometimes I feel like I don't get the respect that I deserve, or my name's not mentioned sometimes amongst the best of the best. And I've been in the top 8 the last 5 years that I've been here. So, you know, that fuels my fire to keep going year in, year out. I mean, again, after 26 years and you competed, it's kind of hard to look for new ways to stay motivated. But, you know, coming in the top 6 last year was a big thing, and that allowed me to set a new goal of actually coming in this year with the mindset that I can win.
What do you think, how does the package you're bringing to this stage compare to previous years? Like you said, 26 years. What's a little bit different about you this year?
It's so funny because, you know, I don't want to talk about, you know, the biggest man's going to win, but I am bigger.
Yeah.
I won Chicago Pro to qualify here, and I was 192. We just mentioned today I was 198 on stage. I'm in much better condition than I was in Chicago, and I'm still filling out. So I've actually learned how to fill out my physique a lot better, where I actually gain a little bit of fullness and size over the course of the days because I eat up to the show.
Yeah.
So I could step on stage about 200 pounds, just really rip the shred. And again, for my bone structure, that's going to make me look 15, 20 pounds bigger than I actually am.
We saw our video, and a lot of your fans too, on NPC News Online of you training that we got from MHP, and you looked incredible. And if you look like anything like that when you step on stage, these guys got something to worry about. Now, a lot of these people now, I'm also an IFBB judge, And a lot of people put in the time, they diet, they do the cardio, they train, and they get up on stage and they can't pose for anything, man. They just terrible posers. You know, you are one of the best posers, if not the best poser in the sport. You want to give us a sneak peek? What kind of song are you going to bring? What's your routine going to be?
You know, here I always do a mix. I don't know if you're watching my routine.
Absolutely.
I always do a mix, so I've got a mix again. The other thing I try to do is when my DJ puts my music together, I try to sort of tell a story.
Okay.
And so there's a little bit in there about my back being against the wall in Chicago, having to win and qualify at that show. There's actually a little piece in there that I stole from America's Got Talent when I was on there a couple of years ago that you're going to see in the routine with Sharon talking. So,
is that right?
So I got a couple of things I play around with. I got some robotic stuff in there, so it's going to be a nice little interesting mix.
You got any blurred lines in there?
No, I ain't got no blurred lines. And if I get the blurred lines, then I got to pull a couple of bikini competitors on stage, to dance around. So.
Whatever it takes to win.
Whatever it takes, man.
Well, I want to thank you, for taking the time with NPCNewsOnline.com. I know you have a lot of fans from your videos. And is there anybody you want to thank, too, for the show?
Absolutely. I want to thank my good friend Travis Wallace that's always helped me with my contest prep, my second set of eyes. I want to thank definitely my family, Christine Jackson and my boys and my daughter, LaPortia, Trey, Reese, and Rashawn. Most of them will be here tomorrow to support me. I want to thank my sponsor, MHP, Liquid Sun Rays, all my friends and family back at home that support me. And, it's a blessing to be here, man. I want to thank the man upstairs for being here one more year.
You want to end this interview with a little robotics? All right, man. Thank you.
No problem at all, man.
All right.